Good morning, everyone. How you doing today? Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. Let me try to get this thing all situated here. All right. So if you listened to my daily financial news this morning, thank you very much. You have come prepared. If you are catching this live or on the recording and you have no idea what a daily financial news is, where have you been? I've been doing a daily financial show for almost 3 years now, over 1,000 episodes every single day means every single day. So do me a favor, join, subscribe, set notifications. Let's talk about money, investing every day together. That goes off at 7:30 a.m. Pacific. But if you did listen to the news, you have come prepared. I asked you to bring a piece of paper and a pen. We are going to go through an exercise together, folks. This will take a half hour because we need to go see the landlord, the lumberjack landlord at 8:30 Pacific. Again, if you are watching this on replay, all you need is a piece of paper and a pen. If you don't have those right now and you want to play along, hit pause, go get these two instruments, and we will get going. What I want to do here is I want to use these two things to show you why I believe that we have just a monster Q4 in front of us. We have a lot of inflation coming. That will be followed by a period of deflation, followed by our ultimate slog of stagflation. These dominoes look very clear to me. I have been following the consumer for decades. I can see trends. Now, things could happen to jumble this up. I am again doing this live because I would love your feedback. So, what we are going to do is we are going to walk through an economics 101 session together. When you think about economics, there's micro, there's macro, there's lots of things that I learned in school, getting my degree and my advanced degree. But we are going to talk about supply and demand. So the first thing I want you to do is somewhere on your piece of paper, likely in the middle, I want you to draw a circle. And I am going to do this together with you. And inside the circle, I want you to write supply. And outside the circle, I want you to write demand. So you have something that looks like that. Yes, supply and demand. So let's talk about both supply and demand. So supply is really, you could think of goods and services, products, whatnot, right? So what I want you to do is I just want you to tick a bunch of, I thought this would show up better. Is there a better one? Let me think. Let me see if this is better. Oh, here we go. This one's better. So what I want you to do inside the circle is I want you just to tick a bunch of lines, almost to make them look like freckles, right? Or ones or whatever you want. And then on the outside, I want you to tick a bunch of ones as well. Try to get, the same kind of number. You don't have to be exact. But again, just keep going nuts. This will all make sense in a second. Okay, so I don't know what yours looks like, but here's mine. Supply and demand. So supply is really easy for people to understand, right? It's the products and goods that are sold and bought, right? Or supply is what is out there. Demand is tricky. Demand really has two factors. And this is going to be important for this exercise. Demand is a want, like a desire, but you also have to have the capacity to pay, right? For example, lots of people watching YouTube this morning want a nicer car. They want a vacation. They want a nicer house. Unfortunately, a lot of us don't have the capacity to pay. So you are technically not part of demand. If you want a Ferrari and you could buy a Ferrari, that's demand. If you want a Ferrari but couldn't pass the credit check, you're not included. So demand is a want and desire and the capacity to pay. So the reason I wanted you to have a circle with a bunch of ticks and outside a bunch of ticks is if you go back to 2018 or 2019, I guess, before this health crisis, supply and demand in the United States and really the rest of the world was about even. right? That's why we didn't have inflation for decades, right? Inflation, the Fed was always talking about inflation being below 2% and we can't get it there and all this other nonsense. You were having technology advancements pushing on deflation. It was just, it was a pretty balanced market. Certainly when you look at the market in as a collection of everything. Were there some goods that were in short supply? Absolutely. Were there some goods that had too much? Absolutely. But generally speaking, the economy as a functioning organism was fairly well balanced between supply and demand. Now let's fast forward to where we are today in Q4. To call the economy today well balanced would be a gross exaggeration or completely wrong, arrogant, whatever. So if we go back to our picture, what have we done? Well, the first thing we should start crossing out inside the supply all of these ones, or not all of them, but you should just like cut them in half, right? How many times have you heard about got to shop early? You know, this is not there, empty shelves, 103 ships out in Southern California. We have seen, right? Just cross off a bunch of ones, right? Your supply is less today, which by itself is inflationary. But oh my gosh, we are not done. Oh my God, we're not done. What have we done the last 20 months? We have pumped a gazillion dollars into the economy. We have pumped so much money into the economy that the US consumer has 1.3 trillion dollars in excess savings. We were locked up, we couldn't spend. So now on the outside of this picture, we have to add more demand. Right? We have a lot more people that can't afford because we haven't been spending diddly squat. Why do you think? What was I reading the other day? Bentley, was it Bentley? I think it was Bentley's are having a record year, and Ferraris are record years because people have more flipping money. So we have more people with capacity to pay. So this outside doubled the number of ticks, inside got cut in half. Folks, that is what's happening right now. Right now, we are being told the supplies are limited. Shop now. Get it before it's gone. This is why retailers next week are going to report blowout numbers. This is why they're going to report blowout numbers next quarter. They don't have to discount. They can raise prices. Folks, they got a gazillion pieces of demand. It doesn't matter. If they lose one, who cares? We are seeing inflation take hold, take off. It is going to get worse before it gets better. However, this will not last forever. The supply demand picture will reverse and it will lead to a point of deflation. When? I don't know, April, May, March, sometime next year, but it will happen for certain. It could be delayed a month or two, but it will happen. How can I say that? Supply demand is undefeated. Go back to this picture. What's going to happen? First off, supply is going to come back, right? Start putting those ticks back. We got 101 ships. They'll eventually be unloaded. Oh, by the way, what's happening right now that I keep telling you? Companies are so stressed for supply, they're double and triple ordering. And boy, they're going to regret that next year. Oh, by the way, just keep adding ticks because now supply is going to go back up, right? So again, a whole bunch of supply is back in there. And now what happens to demand? Well, the American public and really consumers at large, once you spend that excess money, it's gone. So now you get to start crossing off these X's on the outside. Right? You are about to see a lot of demand disappear, supply increase. Now, how do retail and service arms and car dealers react? They discount. They cut prices. They're going to have the inventory that they triple ordered right when they shouldn't, because demand goes on forever. So that's going to lead to a portion of deflation. It will lead to companies losing money. It will lead to what ultimately the end of this party is stagflation. We are going to have a slowing economy with inflation. It is that simple, I think. Supply demand is undefeated. When you have market forces that interrupt supply demand, you get unnatural things. Go back to the 1970s in the oil embargo. What happened? Well, supply was cut off, demand wasn't. Demand got higher, oil went up, and oil was in everything, so everything else went up. That's happening today on a bigger scale. And a lot of this will also keep rippling through because wages are going up. And I think wages will continue to go up. So again, that's my quick walkthrough of Economics 101, supply demand. This picture looks pretty certain to me, at least at the moment. The question will be, what happens to interest rates? What happens to, interest rates I've said it 2 months ago. I believe the Fed is going to be forced to raise rates at exactly the wrong time. Think about the supply demand picture, right? We have inflation building and building. It's getting worse. They're going to have to raise rates right into when demand falls off, supply doubles. It's there's some pain ahead, I think. So that's what I have for you. Let's just say good morning to everyone. Good morning, Nathan. Good morning, Invest to Wealth. How you guys doing this morning? Let me know what you think. Do you have any questions about this topic? Any other topics? I can go for another 15 minutes or so. We want to make sure we can get to the lumberjack at 8:30. Any questions? If not, thank you for playing along. Play with this idea. Let me know what you think. Ask me questions. I'd love to debate this. Maybe I'm missing something. This is obviously a global economy, so there will be some adjustments around the world. But yeah, supply is artificially constrained right when demand is through the roof. Demand, the more and more we hear about gotta shop now, we're gonna shop now. Then we're gonna run out of money. That 1.2 trillion become 800 billion, and then 4, and then all this. And then supply is gonna double. That's deflationary. So Clayton, man, thank you. How you doing? Oh, question: can a depression happen? At least the classical definition of a depression, I don't see be repeated. I think the depression, at least in the U.S. as we experienced, that was a combination of financial debt structures that have significantly changed, i.e., real estate. One of the reasons real estate got so bad is the debt was short term; it was 5 years, and people didn't have it, so that's changed. We have a lot more safety nets, and also I don't think the government. God, who knows? But I don't see them making the same mistake. So I do not see a depression. I do see a recession. I've called that. The business cycle is undefeated. The business cycle is undefeated. It can be adjusted. It can be moved. But I think the business cycle is undefeated. So no, I don't see a depression. Is it possible? Sure. But so many things would have to go wrong. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Good morning, Tamika. How are you? Doing a little economics 101 here. Thank you for joining. Question: what do you think about investing in gold or silver? Again, I like insurance policies. And when I was 30 to 35, my insurance policy was silver. And I've been very clear. My insurance policies are about 1%. I take about 1% of my net worth and I put it somewhere. When I was 35, 36, it was gold and silver. And then gold and silver exploded in the Great Recession. I took that and bought real estate. Today, my 1%'s much bigger. I don't want the storage and theft and all of those. So I don't have I have a couple of token pieces like this piece Olivia bought me that I won't ever sell. But yeah, I think for most people it's great, although it's not done very well. With this inflation threat, it hasn't moved. I chose, as you know, Nathan, to put 1% of my net worth into Bitcoin and Ethereum October, November of last year. So just because it's more liquid, it's a lot more liquid. I can hold it without paying storage costs and stuff. I think it's important to have a insurance risk or insurance policy. For me, it was gold and silver. Now it's crypto. But again, it's 1%. For me, it's only 1%. Yeah. Tamika's doing great. That's awesome. Better Home Rental. Good morning, Janet. Good morning from LA. Thank you for your videos. You're very, very welcome. What motives you to keep the channel going? No. What motivates me are emails and texts of people changing their lives. I spend about 90 minutes a day doing this stuff, but I'm pulling up some pictures. When you guys send me pictures or you send me emails or direct messages on Instagram, I save these things. For example, just in the last 48 hours, I really needed the simplicity of one rental at a time. It helped me turn my attention and focus to the critical things to be successful. Previously, I was all over the place and didn't know how or where to focus my time. It is such a simple process, but not easy. Thanks for helping me understand how to learn my market and yield. Michael, thanks for all you do. I've been watching your show when you had less than 5,000 subs, and it's amazing to watch you grow. I started this year with the goal to reach financial freedom. Started in April with no rentals. 8 months later, now have 11 rental properties, 47 doors, and will be exceeding our target financial freedom number. Keep up the good work. So I get these almost every day. Yeah, it's just these. That's why I do it. I do this for you. I would make a lot more money doing other things. Yeah, no, it's definitely my positive impact score, which you will get today. I'm an open book. I do this for you, right? My positive impact score is about you. So that's why I do it. Chano, good morning. When do you think the Fed gives the first interest rate raise and by how much? I think my leading guess is July. And I think they're going to have to do aggressive, which in Fed speak is a half a point. I think the first raise is half a point, and it's in July. Would it shock me if it's a quarter point? No, but I think they're going to be so behind the curve, it's going to have to be half a point. Thank you for the question. Keto, congratulations. Let's see. What about housing supply? The great slowdown has started. We're going to go from 1.3 to 1.4 to 1.5 to 1.6. This is going to be a much, much better time to be a real estate investor because it's going to be easier to find deals. You're going to be able to offer less than asking. You're going to have to run the numbers, though, because interest rates are going to go up. So you're going to have to be very, you're going to have to watch your yield. Always work on your yield. So, yeah. Nietzsche, Zuber, good morning and greetings from Moldova. I think that's a foreign country. That's cool. Where are your sidekicks? They are the only reason I watch the show. Oh, you're talking about my puppies, I think. I thought you were talking about the lumberjack. Here you go. Here's Happy. She was asleep, but you can see that. She's tired. There she is. Okay, go back to sleep. That was funny, by the way. Why does not the Fed increase rates now? Nathan, that's a very good question. They can't. They simply can't. They've learned their lessons. They can't surprise the market. If the Fed raised rates Monday, the stock market would lose their mind, which would impact 401ks. It would impact the consumer. The Fed has to be very clear, deliberate, all of those things. It would break. It would break. Yes. We appreciate your gift to the community. Like so many others, my life and financial future are certainly improved because of one rental at a time. Yes. See, I get one message like that a day. I can be happy all day. It is that simple. When you can impact people's lives, and oh, by the way, everything I try to create is going to hopefully outlive me by 50 years. There will be people in 100 years that hopefully watch this, buy the book, and change their life. You know how cool that is? Certainly cooler than buying another watch or car or whatever. It's not about me. I have enough. Maybe my goals are stupid or weak or whatever, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So, yeah, pretty cool. So, did everybody do the exercise supply demand? If you know what, if you did this supply demand picture, take a picture of it and tag me on Instagram. I would love to see somebody's work. I want to see if it made sense what we were doing. See if you understand inflation, deflation, stagflation. I would love to hear from you. Any thoughts on over or funded life insurance policies as a response to Yellen's desire to change? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yellen's tracking six. First off, I think that's been killed because they realized finally how stupid that was. I have not looked at whole life insurance policies or any of that. I need to look at that, Tamika. I haven't looked. Yeah. I like your videos not only for real estate, but in the bigger picture of external events impacting prices. Yeah. Nathan, thank you. Um, Real estate is certainly where we have made our wealth, but real estate's like it's only one cog in a very big wheel, right? And that's why, when asked, I study the consumer. If I only had to study one thing, and this is what I learned in all my economics classes, I'm going to follow the consumer. The consumer is the biggest part of the economy. They typically move in a herd. They're typically late, and they typically would rather spend than save. The consumer is predictable, and if you can find the little movements in the consumer, whoo, you can make some moves and make a lot of money. So yeah, I only follow the consumer. Yeah, Janet, I have to be on the Lumberjack live stream. Oh yeah, all of us should be there. 8 more minutes. Thank you for all you do. Brought simplicity, something I was back and forth on deciding if I was heading in the right direction. One rental down, and a plan in place for the next one. Woohoo! Very cool. All right, everybody, enjoy your day. Go watch the Lumberjack. I can't believe he goes on for 3 hours. He's amazing. Have a wonderful Sunday. I will produce my positive impact score next. Take care. Oh, let's see one more question. How will China slow down impact the U.S.? That's $1 billion question. You can see how it'll impact debt. You can see how it's going to impact commodities. They're in trouble. Their economy's toast. I mean, like they have made some stupid decisions, just dumb. Maybe they're fine long term, but boy, there's going to be a year or two of pain. Yeah, it's not good. I think the biggest impact, Nathan, is going to be the rich exit China even faster. They want to get their capital out, which means this travel ban that's now been lifted. I think you're going to see a lot of Chinese who have cash go, I'll take that LA house, or I'll take that Miami condo, or I'll take that New York apartment. They're not going to even think about cash flow, guys. They're going to think about wealth preservation. So that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. All right, everybody, take care of yourself. Go enjoy the Lumberjack. He's amazing. Bye.